Hello and welcome to another video of mine. There's not much more to say, but I'm in Snowdonia. So first things first, let's get it up. To give you a more precise location, I'm up near Dartmoor, which is in southern Snowdonia, and today's mission is to climb up Aran Fawddwy. I'm 0.6 miles in so far, and judging by my calculations I have to gain 650 meters in elevation in the next 3 miles, so it's going to be a steep one. I'll show you where I'm heading. I'm going to be following this footpath, and it climbs all the way up the side of this valley, up onto the top, loops around this horseshoe, and then I need to drop over the back of this mountain here, and that'll put me on top of Aran Fawddwy, which is just over 900 meters. It's 32 feet short of being a 3,000 foot mountain, and that's where I plan on camping tonight. As these mountains came into view over the last couple of miles of the drive, I had goosebumps the whole way. I really enjoy the Brecon Beacons, and I love Dartmoor, and Atmos has plenty of charm as well. But I've been wanting to come to Snowdonia for a while now, so this is my first wild camping trip, and it's a solo wild camping trip in Snowdonia. This isn't necessarily going to be a long walk, but it is going to be a hard walk. Because I haven't camped up here before, I didn't want to be short of equipment, so my backpack is the heaviest it's ever been today, I think. It's 17.15 kilos, plus I also added a pair of shorts and a foam sit mat, which I bought on the way. The forecast for tonight isn't too bad. The minimum temperature is meant to be about 8 degrees, but that comes down to about 2 degrees with the wind chill. And maximum wind speed is meant to be about 30 miles an hour on the summit. I've brought my Southern Cross one. I've also bought a couple of bits of kit, which I'll talk about later, which will make this camp a little bit more comfortable and successful, hopefully. Let's get moving. Have a little bit of sun at last. We're getting up now towards that top ridge line. I'm now 450 meters higher than where I started my walk, and I've got just over 300 meters left to climb before I'm up at the top of Aran Fawddwy. The wind is picking up a bit, just nudging up at 30 mile an hour gusts now, but I'm not too worried about that so far. The forecast has changed, so it looks like it's going to be cloudy all the way from now up until 1 PM tomorrow. So all I can do is hope that I have some clear breaks in that to get some bigger views and a bit of sunshine. And I think I can now see that final climb coming into view. now, and we are well and truly in the cloud. So the wind's up over 40 miles an hour now, and I've got about 1 kilometre to go until I'm at the top of Aran Fawddwy. I'll see what the wind's like when I get to the summit. I would like to camp on the summit if I can, but it might be that I need to find a little bit more shelter just so that I'm safe and the tent can withstand the weather. There's our trig point. That is the summit of Aran Fawddwy. 905 metres, and I can't see a thing. I might as well be 50 metres above sea level. So yeah, I am fully up in the cloud. There's nothing to see at all. As you can see, it's very rocky here as well, but I did spy a place about 50 metres back, which is only about, I don't know, 15 metres below the summit. It was nice and flat, it was grassy, hopefully there isn't too much rock underneath, so let's go and see if we can get the tent pitched there. I've come back to the spot I found earlier. Not all that easy to find again because there's so much cloud. Visibility is about 15-20 metres. You can see we've got a built-up rock formation on the left. This is all a little bit raised here. There's a bit of a gap for the wind to come through here, but where I'd like to put the tent is right here in between these few rocks. So I can have the tail end down here pointing into the wind, the narrowest end of the tent, and then I'll orientate it longitudinally so that the wind can just rush over the tent rather than hitting it side on. It should be a good place to put the tent. I think I was looking forward to challenging it in some winds, but wherever possible it's always a good idea to get shelter from the wind if you can. So I'll get the tent pitched now and I'll get inside and get some food on. Before I put the tent up, I'll just show you one of the new bits of kit I mentioned earlier. So I've brought a selection of pegs here because I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to encounter up on the top of this mountain. I've brought my usual nature hike Y stakes, which are widely available, much like the MSR groundhogs. I think most people go for this style of stake. I've also got some wider flanked Y stakes, so they've got a really broad edge on them, so they'll dig in really well and keep a good grip in wind. But I've also bought a set of 8 Vargo titanium nail pegs. So these are quite narrow. They've got a pointed tip, but they're titanium, so they're really strong and really light, and on a rocky mountain top these will be able to find their way through any rocks in the ground, whereas of course the Y stakes, the cross-sectional area is a lot bigger, so they're likely just to hit rocks and then you'll go no further. Today's weapon of choice is the Terra Nova Southern Cross one, so first things first, let's get it up. And now let's get the rucksack and get all our stuff in. It's good to be in the tent. It's time to get all my gear unpacked now. And I did say I've got a few new bits of kit, so I showed you the tent pegs, and I've also treated myself to a flex tail gear tiny pump. I've got the Thermarest NeoAir XTherm here, which has been serving me really well for the warmth to weight ratio. It was a really good purchase, this. But one thing I really cannot get to grips with is the pump sack that comes with this. So I have treated myself to an electric pump, and I have to admit, when I saw a bunch of other people using these, I just thought, that seems a bit lazy, it's a lot of extra weight and bulk, but this is 80 grams, it's 20 quid, it's rechargeable, And if you get the Tiny Pump X, which I didn't get, and I'm kicking myself for it, then the bottom face here is a lantern. So, I mean, my lantern actually weighs about the same as this, so I could swap out this pump if it had the lantern on. And then I've gained no weight or volume, really. So, let's get the XTherm pumped up in luxury with this little electric pump. It's nice and easy to fit on. Some people say these are a bit loud. Let's see what it sounds like. And just 2 minutes later, this little pump has inflated my mat for me. It does need about 5 breaths at the end just to bring it up to pressure. Thermarest say there's no issue with breathing into their mats. They're not concerned about mould build-up or anything like that. And as far as I'm concerned, 5 breaths just to finish it off and bring it up to pressure shouldn't be the end of the world. This mat should still last me for years. If it dies in 5 or 10 years because of mould, then I'll replace it. It's as simple as that. All warm now in my sleeping bag and my change of clothes. And food on the menu tonight, we've got the chicken tikka and rice from Wayfarer, and the #1 pudding of choice, Wayfarer's chocolate pudding. It's 10:30 now. I've had my main meal and my pudding, so I'm feeling nice and warm and settled in for the night. I'm really glad I brought my warmer Rab sleeping bag instead of my slightly cooler weather Berghaus bag. It is quite cool tonight with a bit of a breeze, so it just means I'm not having to put too much effort into keeping the warm air in the sleeping bag. It's quite funny actually. I thought I heard some voices, and then a few minutes later I heard some voices again, and I looked out at the door, and sure enough I could see some silhouettes sort of against the cloud. So I called out, and there was a whole group of people out on their mountain leader course. So their primary aim was to find the summit of Aran Fawddwy, and then they were going to navigate the way down to the lake at the bottom. And that brings me on to my issue for tonight, really. I mean, I know there is a stunning lake down below this summit. I also know the views are huge from on top of here, because we're at 900 meters. So the views are really, really extensive. We're higher than Pen y Fan. We are, I think, at the highest point south of Mount Snowdon in the UK. So this is a proper mountain. It's got some serious views to offer, but I'm just completely clouded in after a 4-hour drive. It was a 5-mile hike up here with just under 3,000 feet of elevation gain. And after checking all the forecasts and picking a good time to come up here, it's just kind of gone wrong at the last hurdle. So there's no one I can write a strongly worded letter to. That's just the way it happens. It's weather. You can check the forecasts, you can hope, but the skies will do whatever they want to do. So yeah, the last forecast I checked said that it was going to be cloudy until 1 PM tomorrow, but because this is a fairly quiet, fairly remote peak, I am quite tempted just to take my time in the morning and hang around a bit, see if I get some views, and hopefully the drive and the hike up here will all be worth it. So for now there's nothing left to do but get a bit of sleep. I don't think I'll be able to get any time lapses tonight because the cloud is so thick. So all being well, I'll see you in the morning. Good morning from just next to the summit of Aran Fawddwy at 905 metres. I can't believe the cloud cleared like that. What a start to the day. This valley down here is just colossal. You can hear that there's a bit of a breeze, there's nothing strong. And I'm just so glad that that drive up here and the walk was all worth it, because this is just the biggest, most dramatic sunrise view I've ever had on a camp. I've had my breakfast now, so I can get packed up, and I'm going to walk a little bit further along this ridge beyond the summit before I turn around and head back down to the car. It's going to be about 6 miles of walking today. I've actually just given my ankle a really heavy whack on a rock back there. I don't know if you can see it much. But yeah, I was just fiddling with my my tent pegs, which I used to secure my tripod for time lapses. It's my own fault, and I only had about 4 hours sleep, so I'm not entirely with it. But it's just a reminder that you have to be really careful up here, particularly when you're here on your own. It feels like it's dying back a bit now, the pain, so it's nothing but a bruise, I don't think, and shouldn't stop me getting down safely. Funnily enough, just when I got up to the trig point to watch the sunrise, I could hear some voices, and 2 people had walked up to catch the sunrise. They're driven from Coventry, so they left Coventry at 11:30, started walking at 2:30, and I imagine they were possibly a bit disappointed when they got to the trig point and found that there was someone already there taking pictures and whatnot. But we all want these moments to ourselves. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. I'm really glad I had this one. It's just unbelievable. Look at that view. So after initial disappointment, thinking I might not really get to see the scenery up here, this has just blown my mind. And I'm actually looking forward to getting packed up now and walking a little bit further along to see how the views change. And I'll see if I can show you Cadair Idris, which is just a little island poking out of the blanket of cloud this morning. And then, yeah, I'll get packed up and get moving. I'll swing you around now. That's the trig point there at the top. You can see that blanket of cloud over everything. There's my tent just coming into view. You can see its nice little sheltered spot there. I could hear the wind roaring through in the night, but it was hardly affecting the tent really because it was so well sheltered. And that's Cadair Idris just coming to the middle of the shot now, just poking up through the marshmallows. I can't stop just spinning around and looking at everything. Look at this. That's everything packed up. You can see the ground behind me in between those rocks where I was pitched, so there's no trace left. I very nearly left my toothbrush actually. I sat out on the ledge to clean my teeth. Got distracted by someone turning up at the trig point and walked off and left my toothbrush, so I've been back to collect that to make sure I leave nothing behind. I've now seen 5 people in the last 5 minutes, so that's definitely a sign to get moving. I'm going to head on along the ridge in the same direction I arrived in, just to see a couple more summits, and then I'll turn back and head back to the car. Bad news guys, it's a bit embarrassing. I've had a chocolate explosion. One of my chocolate eggs has come out of its wrapping and kind of melted into all my Skittles and my flapjack. Shocking situation. Because so much of this land is boggy, you'll find that planks have been put down to help, and this one has a little trick. Some genius incorporated a water feature. I keep thinking I'm going to put together a video that sneaks in under the magic 15-minute barrier, but it's surprising just how much happens and how much there is to see and talk about when you do sort of 5 mile plus of walking in each direction, plus the camp itself. So I suspect this video is going to creep over the 20-minute mark yet again, but hopefully now that I'm giving you chapters, that means that you can skip past any bits that you don't like, or skip forward to bits that look like they are more in line with the kind of thing you want to see, whether that's more walking or more camping. I dare say there's a mix. Sorry, I'm just making my way through a bit of a bog. Just while I'm looking this way, you can see Aran Fawddwy up here. That's where I camped last night. So yes, I will continue to try to shorten my videos, but hopefully there's something for everyone and you can just skip past what you don't like. This seemed like a really good spot to stand just to admire the waterfall, and the water is so clear here. It tasted really good, straight through the filter, of course.
Oh, hi.
Sorry, you're on TV?
No, I'm not on TV, I'm just making a video here.
Oh, do you have to go over the bridge? Can you not go that way? Thanks. Anyway, yeah, it's a stunning valley here. It's a really steep descent down from the top. And what is this guy doing? Yeah, it's a really steep descent down from the top. I must have passed about 50 people since I left the summit this morning. It's about 12:30 now. I've really taken my time. I didn't even leave camp until 10 AM. But I don't have a great deal to go now. Maybe half a kilometre back to the car at a guess. So yeah, that's this camp over. It's been an absolutely phenomenal trip to Snowdonia. It started out a little bit on edge. I wasn't sure it was going to be worth all the effort, but I'm so glad I made the effort to drive up here and to walk all the way up to the top of such an amazing mountain. I'm also glad I made the effort to come up on a Friday instead of waiting until today, which is Saturday, because clearly the crowds are out. There's a great big group of about 20 or 30 people all in one hit at one stage. So although this is one of the quieter mountains in Snowdonia, it's still a busy one, and rightly so. I mean, it should be seen. It's stunning. So, the end of another camp. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe and then you can see some more, and I'll catch you on the next one.